There is no reason to go and buy anything new from Apple. No reason whatsoever. We've improved it 1%, buy it please.
To use that mode, you need to have the Apple Vision Pro to even develop for it. So if I wanted to make actually interesting app, then I would need to buy Apple Vision Pro, which is what, like $5,000.
Without the motion, this is super bland and probably wouldn't make it out and be the chosen concept, because without it, the idea and the storytelling and the whole concept doesn't work.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Design Diner, a podcast where we talk about design news, rebrands, new tools, and pretty much anything happening in the design space. As always, I'm Adam, and with me here is again Adam. Today we are going to be talking about three topics, which is Apple and iOS 27, some rumors that we saw, and our sort of wish list for the next iOS. We are also going to be mentioning their new Foldable, which is supposed to be coming out. Then we found very interesting branding redesign for Superhuman, which is like very in-depth. So we want to go through that, break that down a little bit, check out some of that interesting work. And lastly, we have like a very small drama on Twitter. So yeah, let's start with the iOS 27. So I don't use iPhone, so this is going to be, or I have Mac, but I have an Android phone. So this is going to be like more topic, I think, for you, and I'm going to be the one asking the questions. First of all, what iPhone do you have?
16.
Okay, so
Recently.
yes. Yeah. And did you have the ones before as well, or did you use?
Yeah, I had 11. So I was
Okay.
pretty holding myself down to not buy anything, and to be honest, I wouldn't even update, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If it wouldn't be for the battery and some issues with the software, and I had like a black spot at the bottom of my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, as a designer, you need to update for the notch and then the glass and all of this to see how it looks and how to design for it. So I had no choice. But I do have one question before we begin.
Yeah.
Why do you have Android?
Honestly, it's like when I was going to high school, I was picking up a new phone, and at that time I was watching I was very in depth into like tech channels on YouTube, breaking down different phones and what's the best value, stuff like that. And iPhone is a great phone, but it's not a good value, right? You can get awesome phones for fairly cheap now. And back then I was like into that, so I got an Android that was like half the price of an iPhone, and it was basically faster in many ways. Obviously, the software experience is very different, but the hardware was better than an iPhone. So at that time, I've gone for that. And since then, it was sort of like I like Android, and honestly, there was like no reason for me to switch to iOS, so I just stuck to it, and that's pretty much it. If I was picking out a new phone, I would probably go for Android again because I'm just used to certain things, and there's like nothing that would convince me to an iPhone. But also, if someone gave me an iPhone for free, I would happily use it. So
Yeah, I totally get it. Just to clarify one thing, nowadays it's pretty okay value, material wise. It's not like super overpriced or whatever. Like the material value is there, but I totally get your point. You're used to something and don't need it, or like you don't find any use of it, so it's totally fine.
yeah, I think it's also because the Android world sort of increased the prices as well because they saw that iPhone did it, so they did it as well. So yeah, now the value is much closer. But you can still go for like budget brands that are trying to undercut people,
Totally,
the other ones,
totally.
and are actually good.
If I
Yeah,
wouldn't be in the ecosystem, I would go for nothing.
yeah,
The
nothing is
nothing
very.
phone. Yeah, totally. I would go like in there. The only thing that's stopping me is basically like all those little things that if you have like Mac and iPhone and everything
Mhm.
else you have. And second is the software. I just hate it. It's so clunky. But
Mhm.
different experiences, different points of views. But I would definitely go for nothing if they could like introduce some stuff that iPhone does.
Mhm. Yeah, what about foldables? Because the news is with iOS 27, they're supposed to be, and this has been like a rumor for a while, that Apple is supposed to be releasing a foldable, and now it seems to actually be like closer than ever because they released the iPhone Air, which is like very slim phone and it's basically a half of a foldable if you look at it in that way. So, what do you think about foldables? Are you like interested at all?
I don't really care about them at all. Like, it's great, awesome that we can have a foldable phone, but why? I mean, there is a very specific niche for foldables, and that is if you're using it for work and you need like many windows and you're using your phone a lot in your work. So I don't know, maybe maybe being a YouTuber or something that just comes to my mind. Like you need like on one side something and on the other side something else, like two windows, and like using it basically instead of your phone, not phone,
Like a laptop?
desktop, yeah, laptop. So yeah, that probably that, but foldables for me are something like tablets and iPads and stuff. It's something that you really don't need. It's good that it is there, I suppose, but you can't really make it as powerful as an iPad or a tablet because then nobody would buy a foldable. And the same thing goes for iPad, right? You can't make it as powerful as Mac because then nobody would buy iPad. So it's like some middle ground that I don't really like, but I mean it's cool, right? It's new technology, like bendable screens and stuff. Sure. For
Yeah,
some people it makes total sense.
yeah. I know a very common use case actually is Excel on for people that use like Excel sheets on their phones that have to like look at it on the go or exactly like you said, YouTubers. If you know Linus Tech Tips, like a
Yep.
big YouTube channel, he specifically like has a foldable because he says that he uses Excel a lot for their scheduling and recording stuff. So he specifically like has it for that for huge tables. Uh, for me, yeah, I'm like on the same page as you. Find the technology is very interesting, but I just can't find a use case for it for myself. Even like if you look at it like from an entertainment standpoint, like let's say you want to watch videos on a big screen, if you unfold it, it's still like a square, right? So the video is essentially gonna be the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
size.
That's one of the issues I have as well because the format issue is big because it's, as you said, it's not square. It's all most of the time like 4:3, 16:9, and all
Yeah.
these kind of like. So then you have a lot of black areas or like black white space. So yeah,
Yeah, I think the triple foldable kind of fixes that. If you saw it, it's like very, very
that's
cool.
just pushing it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah,
just
yeah.
marketing and then like yeah, but
But I
it's
think that
cool.
that's
I
like the
mean,
ultimate goal. I think if they can get it to a triple fold and eventually for it to be like um, to support a pen, for example, and the screen to be very good. I mean, then I could sort of see myself getting that to maybe do like some illustrations, get into that, or like note taking even. But it would have to be very good, and right now it's not going to be for the next couple of years. So
yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Um, what kind of bothers me though, if Apple starts making a foldable, um, how will that change for us as designers? Because you will have to think about tablet a lot more for like the tablet size, or it's not even the tablet size. It's like the awkward middle ground between like a large phone, right? It's for me personally, I find it very hard to design for. Like whenever I usually make when I do a website, I do a desktop version, I do mobile version, and then I sort of blend that in between for a tablet. But I don't care that much about the tablet, especially because often the client does not care either. Uh, yeah. So what do you think about that?
Well, that's very specific, right? First of all, I don't think if it happens, then sure, but nobody asked about it. I mean, why? Second of all, a lot of people would have to start using foldables and take a lot of the market to even consider doing this extra work. I mean, for some big brands, it probably makes sense to like consider this, but for most clients, it just not sustainable because it's another like 2 or 3 breakpoints.
Hmm.
So that's probably a no-go. But yeah, I mean, it raises a question if we are evolving into the space of bigger screens and like leaving behind the standard iPhone sizes or Android sizes, even though you should always design for the smallest possible screen and then sort of, figure it out from there.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think that's going to be an issue, like if Apple decides to make a foldable? Do you think adoption is going to be an issue in that sort of way? Because even for Android tablets, that's a huge problem that you don't have apps for Android tablets because
Yeah.
the companies just they're just not, the market share does not exist for Android tablets. So why would you make a tablet app for 10 users that are going to be using it on an Android tablet, right? So do you think that's something that Apple can have issues with as well, or that they're going to be able to like overcome it in some sort of way, perhaps get developers on board from the start if they decide to
Uh,
do it, of
th-
course?
I think it's very specific, right? Like for these kind of apps, it's very specific app or like Procreate comes to mind, right? It's drawing on iPad. It's like made for iPad, right? I think it's made for iPad. I don't
Yeah.
think you can have it anywhere else. And all of these kind of apps that belong on that device would still do that, right? And everyone else would still not care, I think. So I think it won't really change anything at the start.
Mm.
But I can see a world where people would probably want this. But I don't see anyone jumping on this, like probably someone would, but it's the same as with the Vision Pro, right?
Mm.
It's gone. I mean, or like sitting and collecting dust on shelves. So and people developed for it a lot, and like at the start there was a huge hype, like open betas and all this kind of stuff. But then they all went silent and haven't released any updates, and the people that were developing for Oculus and all other devices like that would still be developing for that. Some people would just try it and get on the hype, and then there's the rest of us. So yeah, I don't see it changing anything else as of now, especially when designers are skipping tablets completely.
Yeah.
Like they are going from desktop to phone and skipping the middle breakpoint, which I absolutely hate. But some do that, and some are fine with it. So
Yeah, I had at a company I worked at before, where I was a programmer. I had a product manager who always used a tablet. He always used iPad. I did not have a single iOS device, and he always tested everything on his iPad. So every single time, like a very random request came in, very
yeah,
random bug that was only happening not only on the tablet but on iPad specifically because the browser runs on like a different stack than everything else, and that was always like a very painful thing to fix. Um, yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. Otherwise, iOS 27, we just have like very brief rumors as usual. But they're supposed to be making AI powered health app, which I think is like pretty interesting use of AI. If it could like actually aggregate the data, because the health app has a lot of data, right? So if it could like in some smart way uh, tell you interesting things about you. Probably not like, it could not be like very medically focused. I don't think Apple would do that because that's like a thing that go very wrong very fast, and you're gonna have like 20 like dozens of posts online about random things that is telling people. And then they are also supposed to be making AI powered web search platform, something like Perplexity, uh, which I mean, sure, interesting. I think in the end, like Apple Intelligence should do that instead, but that's my take on it. I'm curious though, what do you think about, or not think, what's your opinion on iOS 26? Because I suppose you are using it.
yeah.
What bothers you, and what would you want to see fixed or improved in 27?
Well, I wasn't really a fan of the liquid glass kind of aesthetic at first, but when you're using it, you get used to it. And I haven't joined the beta or like, the very first updates. I was holding off a lot before I was sort of forced into it to test some apps on the watch and on iPhone, and I needed the newest one. And I was designing for a client that was releasing for that specific iOS, so I had to update so all of my screens and stuff I could just, test on the test flight. But I think they've done a pretty good job at turning it down a little. And yeah, for some stuff I really don't like there is a lot of minimalization. And when I say that, I mean it's specifically probably like in the browser. So when you scroll, the bottom bar like shrinks a lot, like to nothing basically. And some controls aren't where they were, and all these kind of like little nitpicky things that you're used to and have to relearn a lot. So I just hope nothing like that will come with the new update, like redoing some of these things. What I absolutely hate is the colored icons, like tinted and all this kind of stuff. That's just horrendous. I
But I mean,
like,
that's optional, right? You don't need to use that.
yeah, but in that mode, everything looks so bad you can't really do anything. But I don't really have any specific stuff I would like to have changed
Mhm.
because I'm probably not your like basic user. I'm doing specific things on iPhone and like specific apps and mostly testing my designs and all of this kind of stuff, and I'm not really bothered by the glass. Sometimes it would be nice to go back on the the switches, like if you turn on or off something in settings, like they are huge and I absolutely hate how they look. But it is what it is. I mean, you have to get used to it. I'm honestly not hyped about any news about Apple at all.
Okay.
Like, because I would like them to just sit down, go quiet for 2 years, don't release anything, and give me something actually good. Because the reason I haven't upgraded from the iPhone 11 wasn't like I didn't have money or anything. It's that it wasn't worth it, really. Like, even going from it, like obviously going from 11 to 16, there's a lot of new stuff, Dynamic Island, and all of these kind of little things. But I was deciding between 15, 16, and 17, and it's all the same. There is literally no difference between all of them except some screen stuff when you go from Pro to normal and like from 15 to 17, and chips of new generations, and probably like some minor battery changes. The only big things are camera and hardware things, like you have the automatic zoom on camera, so like it follows you in the 17th, and all of this. It's awesome for like people using the iPhone solely for photographs. But then there's still like Blackmagic app and other stuff. But there is no reason to go and like buy anything new from Apple. No reason whatsoever. And I hate that because like from the 14th to 17th, there's like nothing really new. Like, we've improved it 1%, buy it, please. I would love them to, obviously they can't do it from a marketing perspective, but I would love them to like not do anything and just sit and show me the Apple we all loved. The groundbreaking
Mhm.
stuff, the aesthetics, like the iPhone Air thing, like that thing looks beautiful, but it cut on battery and anything and like camera and stuff. But people are saying that they wouldn't even need the camera, they just like how the phone aesthetically looks, and I think that that's a beautiful piece of hardware. So like, give me more of that and less of we've improved this and that and Siri and all of this kind of stuff. And who cares?
Hmm.
Sadly.
So
Yeah.
like if Apple Intelligence was actually good, like if they actually came up with like some smart features that would make your life easier,
No,
basically it would be better assistant, that would not convince you.
no.
Okay, that's
I
interesting
mean,
because in
it's not even out
yeah,
in
of
here.
course, but
You
like
can't use
hypothetically.
it in here. Like, it's something they've been promising for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And buy this iPhone, it will have Apple Intelligence, blah blah blah. I'm not buying the phone because something you will tell me like you will have in 10 years. I don't
Hmm.
care about that.
Yeah,
I
but if
frankly,
they
I don't care about the AI features of Siri and every other stuff at all, because it's not as good nowadays. Like, it was a great piece of software back then, Siri. It was amazing, but nowadays with ChatGPT and everything else, it sort of lags and it's behind a
I
little.
honestly think it lagged like way before then, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe too, but
Google Assistant as well. Like I'm not hating on just Siri, but all the assistants were very like behind in they were like very conditional. Often they did not understand at all what you wanted from them. I don't know anyone who uses like voice assistants for other things than alarm, for example.
yeah, yeah. And even then, I still have to set it myself because it mistakens like 15 with
Mm.
50 or 30 with
Yeah, yeah.
40 and stuff. I mean, yeah, no, not that hook that I want. I want something, maybe like go back to Vision Pro, or like,
Mhm.
you've sold that. It's expensive. You have like 100 patents on it. Just develop in that space if you can. Or I
Yeah.
don't really think that anything that will be released by Apple or Android, frankly, is worth buying, because I think the phones are near its peak and there's like some system updates you can do and camera stuff. Like, most people just don't really care about the camera because they own
Mhm.
their own camera, or they want to shoot raw and not want to be
Yeah.
assisted. But yeah, I don't really care about anything like that. What I did care about was the air, and that
Mhm.
air is way more expensive than a normal one, and like $200 below the Pro model. So why would I buy the worst phone of those three
Yeah.
for more money?
Yeah,
It,
I mean the biggest issue in my opinion with the Air is not even how good of a phone it is now, but how good of a phone is going to be in year or two. That battery is gonna it's not gonna last. It barely lasts a day now, and in 2 years you are going to be basically done, like half the day, right? Because it's just batteries, right? If you have small battery, the recharge cycle is smaller, it wears out faster. So exactly like you said, if it's the most expensive phone and it's the worst one, and in 2 years it's going to be barely usable, then I don't think that's a good idea to get that. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I agree with you. In the Android world, it's very similar. I have Pixel 7, so it's a 3-year-old phone, and there's no reason for me to upgrade. It's like the new phones are better. They look better in my opinion. Like their design matured a lot. Um, but there's like no real reason for me to spend 30K on it, right? Or like what is in dollars, $1,000, something like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
150.
Yeah. What I do care about is like the Macs and Mac
Mhm.
Minis, honestly, because I'm using a Mac Mini. So something like, I'm probably like looking at the latest model once they release the new one, like the previous one, to see the price and everything. Well, like, what can I do? Because I have like 2019, so it could use an update for like 3D and stuff, but it still works fine. I don't really have a need to update. What would get me out of the chair would be a new studio display. Give
Mhm.
me a new studio display. I mean, with a higher refreshment rate and all of this stuff. Like, give me,
Okay.
and I'm yours. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to buy an Apple display. I just cannot justify it. I mean, they are great, yeah, but they're too expensive. Like for if you look at a competition, and if you are on a budget, there's like no reason to get the Apple display.
Yeah, totally understandable. But I've asked a while ago on X, and many people said that it is worth it because like a lot of stuff. And I'm like, okay, sure, but it's like 4 or 5 years old display now, so
Mm.
I can't really justify that price anymore. Like,
Yeah. Also, if you or a lot of people justify it because of like the microphone, the speakers, right? But if you already have that, then like you don't
yeah,
care.
no,
Um, Anyway, yeah, last thing I wanted to say, when you mentioned Apple Vision Pro, the funny thing is I actually did make an app for it when it came out because I was very like interested in it, in how the workflow works there. I even published it, and very interesting thing about that is that it has Vision Pro has like a bunch of a lot of features, and it has few modes. I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3, uh, in which the apps can basically run. And the most interesting one is where it uses your environment. So, for example, you can put something on your table, right? If you have, I think there's this very famous mock-up of F1 app, racing app, where you put the track on your table and you can see the cars race around, for example. Yeah, like it interacts with the environment. And for that mode, to use that mode, you need to have the Apple Vision Pro to even develop for it. You cannot preview it on your computer like in some virtual 3D space. So if I wanted to make actually interesting app that is actually useful in the 3D space, then I would need to buy Apple Vision Pro, which is what, like
it's
$5,000. That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's around
Like, come on.
4.5, something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, like okay, yeah, but I mean, they could just make like a 3D simulator, but yeah, they did not. All right, let's move on to Superhuman, which I think is super interesting. Can you walk us through that? I'm gonna
Yeah,
screen share.
totally. So, for people that don't know, Superhuman is a new Grammarly, basically. So, a year ago, Grammarly talked to Smith and Diction, and those are amazing brand designers. And they basically started to rebrand themselves completely. So they took Grammarly, one more AI tool, like a mail AI tool, and one more AI engine, like
Mhm.
and now it is called Superhuman. It has like 3 to 4 apps, and they are more all about like this AI kind of scene, and they obviously need a new brand identity, right? Because like you are mixing a lot of apps together. So yeah, you kind of have to go with something super new. I have literally nothing bad to say about this. Like zero. There's like no hate going from me on this because I think this is amazing. Uh, Mike has been. I hope his name is Mike. I'm pretty sure it is. He's been sharing like Figma files. They've done Contra lately, and all of these like huge brands. So, and they've been sharing their process out online, and even the original files and stuff. And still, nobody can get it done as well as they do. What's interesting is this is not a work of 2 people. I think this took a total of 12 people. And we can talk about, how motion sells logos, because this is an arrow and a circle. I mean, come on, guys. Everyone can come up with it,
Yeah,
right?
if I can jump in, I was totally not convinced when I first saw this. I felt like it was kind of weird shape, kind of awkward, like it did not make much sense to me. But when I saw this slide with the cape thing, with the arrow turning into like a 3D cape, uh, I was like, this is crazy good, you know? All right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So um, he talks about like some doodles and how they came up with like this little logo. So he was just drawing some little shapes, rectangles, circles, and every other shape you can think of, and just see what like sticks. And then they stumbled upon this combination of a circle and an arrow, and it's a mouse cursor, but it's also a cape. So it's like a superhero kind of thing that turns out to be a great name for Superhuman. And they also incorporated it in like across like 500 icons and every other thing. So if you scroll a little down, yeah, this one, let's play this one because this solidifies everything. It sells the concept and the idea super well. Like without it, I probably wouldn't really be convinced.
Mhm.
But this little motion video is from someone external,
Yeah.
Justin Laws,
Mhm.
and he's done this little motion bit. And if you look at it, how super versatile this is, like what the logo can actually do. Can we go down?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, in
I
here,
see. I see.
like it can turn into every possible thing you can think of. So we are going from a cursor to a mascot
Yeah,
kind
this
of
is
thing.
crazy good.
Yeah, which is nuts. Like there's like endless possibilities on it, right? And there is one more
There's like a ton
video.
of examples in the article. I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
read
yeah,
it
yeah.
quickly before the call,
A
and
lot of.
I just
If you,
like
I
stopped
think if you
halfway.
go, I think if you go to the top one, that top one sells it. No,
Top one,
probably not.
like
I
this.
mean, there was a video in it
Mm.
where it was like showing like the mascot waving behind like
Yeah,
uh
that was this one. This is like halfway through this one where the mascot
what
basically
was it?
goes behind the page and waves a little, right?
Oh, so it wasn't the top one, I
I think.
suppose.
Which I mean, yeah, I was very impressed by this one.
Yeah, but yeah, this one
Like,
they
how
just
do you
got
come up
me.
with this?
It's so good. And the awesome thing is that this is they also took a typeface of ro something. He mentions it in there as well. So they took a specific font, and then they've it's called Torokka, and they've edited so it matches this whole style. So there's
Mhm.
like a lot of small things coming in, as I said, incorporating it into like 500 and more icons, so it looks more like tailored to the whole system. And again, a lot of motion to sell the initial concept.
Mm.
And yeah, as we said like in the latest episodes, that motion will be the king. I think this is a great example, and you can't really argue otherwise. Like without the motion, this is super bland and probably wouldn't make it out
Mm.
and be the chosen concept. But they've actually, like, after the motion, they took it straight to the HR and to the big boys for approval. So that's the best thing. Like Mike said, we can't share this concept without the motion. So we need the motion, and then we can sell it to the client, because without it, the idea and the storytelling and the whole concept doesn't work. And yeah, I mean, just superb work. I mean, it's amazing.
Do you, uh, do you ever present? Do you do logos?
A tiny bit.
Okay, yeah, I always struggled with this because sometimes I have like, or sometimes, for example, the client even requests motion design, which I sort of like do a little bit. I think I'm gonna end up like outsourcing this to someone else. But sometimes I have like very cool idea for a motion concept, but I'm never sure if I want to do the work up front when presenting it, or if I want to first check in with the client, if he likes the logo or if they like the logo, and do it after. And I think you really need to like be able to decide when it's worth it, or when it makes the logo makes sense without motion, and when the motion is needed. Because yeah, like you said here, it just adds so much, and even with the 3D elements they have somewhere, it's like crazy good.
I think with logos, you always want to show motion, like always, all the time. Like I don't think there's even a question that you show a static logo. Like maybe you show like 2 to 3 directions and then like polish it for the client to go with stuff. But I think you should always go with motion because it sells it. It sells the whole brand and the identity of how the stuff looks.
Mhm.
With web and mobile, it's a little different, but I'd say like for websites, if you have a website that has a lot of motion or like unique motion, you should present it to the client as well with motion,
Mhm.
and then don't give the client a chance to scrape the whole concept. Like, this is what you've paid us for, we're the professionals, this is what we're going with. If you don't like, if you like completely don't like the direction, that's fine, we can like do one more. But most of the big guys I've talked to is like, this is the concept,
Mhm.
this is the motion, this is the main thing we are going with. Here's a secondary idea, but we really like this because X, Y, and Z. And most people just go for it because if you spend that kind of money, you have complete trust in the professionals as it
Mhm.
should be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's also a good point.
By the way, I think this is AI. This thing.
It's possible.
I might be off. I don't want to disregard any hard work on this solely because this was super hyped doing with AI, like the logo 3D explorations going with AI. I think that the initial idea was 3D in Cinema 4D or Blender,
Mhm.
and then it was taken to AI to reproduce the rest.
Hmm.
But I
I mean,
I'm not sure. I don't want to call it or whatever
I
because
mean,
it may devalue the work, or maybe not devalue, but people don't like to be
yeah, like
having.
if you do the work, you don't want to
Yeah, 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 yeah,
get
exactly.
called.
But it looks a little. It looks like AI would be more convenient to use for this if you do the initial first 2 or 3 takes and then just take it through AI,
Mhm.
because like the cloud one and some others are like super super hard to do in 3D. So just for a quick presentation, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So my take on this one is, as far as I know, as far as I have tried, as someone that can do logo work but is very bad at animating and cannot do 3D at all. I don't know of any tool that can do motion work this consistently. Like the way the logo like keeps switching, um, and stays in place, it doesn't morph at all. It's very like smooth, consistent. I don't know of any tool that can do that, but I would almost, I think it's very possible that they have done the background with AI and the texture with AI. And
No, there was a tool. I'm
yeah,
I'm not sure what it was. I think it was Midjourney, to be honest. It might be ChatGPT or whatever, but there was a huge hype on X
yeah, I think
doing
I think
this
like the
exact.
textures and the background is done with AI. I think that totally makes sense, but the animation itself, like Midjourney
Yeah, the
cannot
animation is
reproduce
probably
anything
made.
close to this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that there was a huge hype about the Framer logo, right? Someone did the Framer
Mhm.
logo in like ice and earth and whatever, and people just jumped that train. But this reminded me of it a lot because it's easier to do and it's like a little bit more convenient.
Mhm.
But the motion is, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, easy. So
Yeah, yeah, I think it's going to be like some blend. Also, if you look at like the details, the reflection on the ball and on the top of this when it's metallic, I think that's something I'm not sure AI would do, but mostly is my the issue. The reason I'm saying is because of the consistency on it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
every single AI tool starts morphing things and can't keep shape of anything. All right. Yeah, so I think that's the rebrand done. I mean, it's really really good. And like I said, when I first saw this, I was not a fan. Now that I see it in motion, I think it's really insane, and it's a shame
The
I they did not like present it in this way online. I think I saw like the reveal post and it was just a picture, and that kind of like turned me off.
Yeah. Maybe just scroll down a little to the icons so people can see like how like a little details are incorporated in the icons. That's even lower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in
This
here,
one?
like yeah, and the one above, like you're taking that little arrow and incorporating it inside the icons and like the angles and like strokes and everything. I think that's super cool and adds so much. Yeah, exactly that
Mhm.
account thing. Like
Yeah, that's really good.
or the right, like there's the arrow as well.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the pencil, like that
Mm,
is
yeah, yeah. I see.
yeah. I
I think
mean,
for some of it, it's like I would not notice they're custom, but for the few, I think it's very cool. I kind of want to start doing that as well. Like pick maybe two icons that I'm going to use in a product and do them custom. I'm not really at a level where I would do all the icons custom, but
I've done that. It's a lot of work.
yeah, I saw someone on X posting like, I never use icon libraries. I always do everything custom. I'm like, man, if I did that, every single project would take me twice the time, and it would not be as good. So yeah, I don't know. All right. Do you want to talk about your Twitter mini drama real quick?
I suppose we can like very briefly, right? So I've shared a mood board on Twitter, and it got a lot of attention for some reason. I don't know. People just like geometric stuff, I suppose. I didn't really expect it to get a lot of traction and attention because usually those posts get like 10 to
Mm.
20 likes. But that one specific did get a lot of traction, and I've said something like mood board for a client project or something
Mm.
because I was like in the morning I was like looking through initial ideas and stuff. Look at him saving stuff and not commenting. Um,
I like
yeah, but I've shared this, and my bet is that 90% of this work is done by Patricia Klein.
it.
And I didn't notice because I've never really clicked into it and see and like saw the source. And the top guy Daniel said at least take the original creator. I'm not sure what tone of voice was behind it, but I never claimed I've made like any of these. And then Patricia in the thread came in and clarified it all, and then she actually sent me a message because I told her that I would love to talk, and we talked. All good, everything clear. I apologized, and I'll probably stop posting mood boards, honestly, and not because of Patricia or anything, but because of the community and how X works.
Yeah.
I've had an interesting talk with Mike. Mike, Creative Mints. He's from Czech as well, from Prague, and he does like crazy motion and great 3D.
I don't think I know
And he
him.
said that it's probably not really uh, a good idea to like do mood boards because it does more harm than good.
Mm.
And I'm probably on the edge. Like on one hand, I would love to share stuff that inspires me, so more people can be inspired. But on the other hand, I can't really go and search every piece of work in that mood board. In this case, it was different because I had the ability to check for the source. I didn't. My bad. I've never claimed I've made any of those works. And frankly, I didn't even like, it didn't even cross my mind because on every of those resources, there is like a year of like 1856 and like
Mm.
some author from a book. And I'm like, okay, sure, this is just like digitalized thing from the book.
Mm.
But she actually like took it from archives, remade it, and like did tiny tweaks to it. She has super cool work. I mean, I love what she does, and yeah, as I said, we talked or cleared out, but it makes me a little sad that there's this whole mentality on X of people. Yeah, if you click through that post, the I'm surprised that that one I've in at
Mm.
the bottom, the one I quoted. Yeah, that one. Um, Here's another example why probably people do this, right? Because someone took the work of Eduard Bodak, who just does a lot of Webflow and amazing stuff, and just posted it as is. And I'm like, dude, why is it so hard to tag the original author? Like, you know, why? And it's a little different with mood boards because I'm not claiming I've made that work. This guy obviously does, and it ruins your career, sort of, and like your whole image. But it's probably because of this mentality that everyone just posts for likes and like the meaningless attention
Mm.
and even like steal stuff. And I saw a lot of posts, a lot of people calling out. I've called out a lot of people myself that you can't really share things anymore without doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but why do you feel pushed into like not posting mood boards anymore? Because there's like just one comment that did not like it, and then
Yeah, it's not
Patricia is.
really.
I feel like
It,
she is fine with it, right? She did not like diss you or anything.
no,
And
yeah, no, no, no. We talked and she's totally fine, but it's not worth it to me. Like it's just not worth it. I don't need that attention. I didn't expect it will get this much attention. And frankly, if someone would do that to me, I would be like all over in comments. I was like, I'm glad I could inspire you. Awesome.
yeah,
Like, great work. Keep it up. And like have this kind of mentality because I don't create and like am hung up on my work. Like, it's people do this. Like, people take other people's work, alter it, add their own stuff, and post it, and it's like new piece of work. That's how we improve. That's how we push the boundaries and push the limits. And it's just not worth the drama. I don't want any drama or like being accused of something or like defending myself because I've posted a bunch of pictures. Yes, in this case, it's my bad, totally, because the sources are there and most of the sources are hers. But if I'm posting a Pinterest mood board, I don't have the time to track down whoever done that kind of work, right? I simply don't. So I'll either refrain from posting mood boards completely, sadly, but I thought like it would inspire people, or I will take like pictures on top of pictures and make like a mix of it, and not like a screenshot, but like a mix inside of Sketch or Figma,
yeah,
and post that with stuff on top.
yeah. I think I mean that's not a bad idea, but I'm gonna disagree with you in the like core issue that you are discussing. First of all, there's like a random guy here telling you, like not liking that you posted it. He's not even the original creator, and like you said,
No, but he's
if
right.
I was the
He's
person,
right. I mean, you know,
I don't think he's right. If I was the person browsing this and I saw someone used my work in a mood board, I would be like, "Hey, cool, this is great." And if I was like, feeling like it's all of it is my work, I would be like, "Hey, could you tag me?" And if they tagged me, then I would be like, "Sure, no problem." If they didn't, I honestly would not care. Like, I mean, it's a mood board. You are not presenting this as your own work, and I think there's like a point where you need to draw a line, between like caring about things and thinking they're relevant, and between like having it just sort of like internet noise, because people are, like you said, there's a lot of people stealing online, and they're
yeah,
used to
but I
calling
think
them
the
out.
core issue in here is people have no clue what a mood board is.
Yeah, and so, in that case, I think their opinion is honestly not relevant. Like, if you go down this road where you start caring about opinion of people that are not relevant in the space, or that like don't even really know what they're talking about, I would not say relevant, but that they don't know what they're talking about, then it's just gonna get worse and worse, right? I mean, the person could comment on pretty much anything, and like,
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's not like I care. I obviously I couldn't really give a damn, but it's just not worth the drama. I don't need it. I'm like I'm here to post my work and build my profile in a certain style, and I'm not looking for any drama. And these posts will likely cause it in 99% of time. So why would I do them? I mean,
I would say because this comment has 3 likes. The post has now 9,000 views, 130 saves. For example, I really liked it. I saved it like for me as an inspiration. So I think in that way, it has done much more good than any harm. Like, I would say there was no harm, but even if you took this like as something harmful, then it was obviously beneficial to people, and you've done some good in that way. So I
well,
would
you can't really know that, right? Because people like to save stuff that they will like that's the FOMO factor, right? I see this looks cool, I'll save it and never get back to it. I mean,
sure. Sure, yeah, I agree with you, but still, like it was obviously like interesting to people, you know. I don't
yeah,
see.
I suppose.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
personally I really like when people post mood boards. There's always like something interesting. I don't care if they credit. If I was in a mood board and I did not get credited, I would not care as long as no one presents it as their own work. I don't see an issue with it. And like you said, it's very unrealistic to actually tag everyone, right? If you post a mood board. If you want to, personally, I think it would be a shame if you start posting mood boards. But if you want to do it in a different way, then I would say like the collage in Sketch would be cool.
Yeah, I need to rethink it a little because it's not really part of the drama or whatever. Like people could interpret it in a different ways, and I really I don't care about any of this. I just I'm not doing this for oh yeah, you commented,
Yeah,
nice
I forgot.
nice doing the work, yeah. I'm not doing this because of likes and stuff. I'm just sharing stuff I like. This is
Hmm?
my journal. I'm not doing it for everyone else. I'm doing this for myself because if I look at this at the start of the year, like go year back, I see
Hmm?
my progress. I see how I've developed my taste. And honestly, I wanted to start doing videos about that as well because I'm posting for myself. I'm not posting for others. If I would be posting for others, it would be, I think that's not a good thing
Yeah,
because then why I'm really just trying to like document my progress, and if people like it, great, people like it and join, and if people don't like it, then it's also great. You don't really have to like it, right? I'm
hmm?
just evolving as I go. And yeah, I can't really it's a touchy topic for me because I hate when someone steals someone's work, and I hate to be seen as someone like that. So in a sense, I do care, but yeah, I think it's not worth to
Mhm.
the trouble here.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that I think it would be a shame if you like restricted your content just because someone commented with something hateful that is not really relevant. If you feel like it's relevant, then fine. But there's like it's internet, right? People just like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hate on
yeah.
things. And if we took every single comment into account, then we would not be able to post anything. Yeah, but that's my take on it. All right.
Totally.
Uh, if you don't have anything to the topics, I think we've gone pretty in depth on everything.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think I like having like less topics and going in depth rather than trying to fly through five or
Totally.
six.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it, subscribe if you want to see more from us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Have a great day, guys.